Everybody's got to get their stage selfie. So we've got people with all different kinds of experiences, some relatively new, some been around for a while, some rebuilding, some taking their businesses to the next level, some reinventing, okay? So what I'd like to do as let's start here and just go across. I'd like you to quickly introduce yourselves and give a brief bio of who you are.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for having me. My name is Joe Ochio Caruso from New Jersey. Thank you. And I've only been in this business about 8-9 years, and never gave it a lot of credibility over the years. I thought it was a nice little side business where you can make a little extra money. And so I never really took it seriously. I figured if I wanted to make an extra $1,000 a month, I'll just show up earlier, grow my business better, and so forth. And then I had an epiphany about, like I said, 9 years ago, and literally made tens of millions of dollars in the last 7 or 8 years. And so it's been great. Kind of thought I was done, retired, took a year off. The company stopped taking customers, but they brought me back in.
Yeah. Now what happened with him is his company stopped being a network marketing company. Sometimes companies make that decision. So he had the difficult situation of looking to find a new home, which he did, and has been rebuilding ever since and doing an excellent job.
Yep, I still get paid for the work I did in 2010, which is honorable. But it's great to be back here. This is where I belong.
Yeah, he couldn't build any longer inside that situation.
Hello.
Okay, let him talk.
My name is Antonio Martinez, and yes, Latinos are crazy. So my brief story is I'm 29 years old. I'm a regular kid that started in network marketing when I was 21 years old. I've been learning a lot from all these years, and I have to say thank you to my CEO that I have the honor to have him here. Thank you, Eric and Marina, for the invitation. Your office, I already told you, it's amazing. And of course, the team, that I just want to let you know that last year I was back with only 4 teammates, and we had no money. And my check was $1,400. I got into GoPro because our CEO made a promotion, so I won the ticket. And I want to tell you something, one day I had to go walking from the convention center to the Stratosphere because I didn't have money for the Uber. And 1 year later, from 4, we hit more than 130 people in this room. And it's not about the money you are making, it's about what you are doing. Because if you come here, I was thinking all day, there is people in this room that they come to Vegas. And there is another type of people that they are here and they are coming to GoPro. So my only wish for everyone that is here is take it serious. Because here we are having all the tools, all the success histories that you can implement to your teams. But if you don't put the action after you learn everything and you have all these amazing people on the stage, it's nothing gonna happen. You're gonna have the same lifestyle and probably next year you will not come. So if I have to give you a small advice in my Rocky, because I feel like a Rocky here. So it's take it serious. We are a profession and let's make it happen, people. Whoop, whoop.
So why did I invite Antonio to be on this panel? A year ago, he was making $1,400 a month. He had 4 people in attendance, and because he won a ticket because his CEO did a contest. And he had to walk from the convention center to the Stratosphere because he didn't have money for an Uber. Try that walk. That walk's not a short walk. Reason why, two reasons. He grew that $1,400 to about $45,000 a month. $45,000 last month. And he grew the people attending, traveling from international markets, attending, and many of them didn't speak English to come here, and they're listening on headsets. He grew it from 4 people to 130 people, a 29-year-old who made a decision and took it serious. So that's why he's up here. Ryan.
All right. I think y'all forget where y'all are at. Do y'all realize y'all at GoPro? Good grief. This event changed my freaking life. I sat all the way in the back 4 years ago, making $400 a week. I implemented everything that was said on this stage for the last 4 years and the previous years because I watched replays, and it's got me where I'm at.
And where is that?
Right here next to you.
No, but how much?
I'm one of the top leaders in our company. I earn more money than I ever thought I could.
How much will you make this year? 2018. Say it.
3.2.
4 years ago, 400 a week.
If you don't think something like that can't impact your life,
I think they can.
come on, people. And how many people can you impact on that journey? I just implement everything I've been taught, everything I've learned, everything I hear, I duplicate and put into action. And if you don't take massive action and play big, and who cares what people think about you? Get out there and do it. Who are we to think that I'm this good that other people are thinking things about me? I'm not. So quit thinking about what other people are thinking about you and get out there and do it, and let's impact some freaking lives.
And before the next person speaks, I have to say something. Who's ever heard of brilliant compensation? Anybody ever heard of brilliant compensation? A person who was in the generic world and provided tremendous service to this profession, Mr. Tim Sales, is somebody that I deeply respect. And he was one of the people I called at the very first GoPro Recruiting Mastery at the Monte Carlo Hotel with 200 people in the room. And he was gracious enough to come down and share some of his ideas on that stage. And he's gone on and built organizations all around the world over the past 9 years now. 7 years. But back then you were just considering, you were just in the mindset of, what you were going to do. And what you've done has been tremendous. You've done more than just talk. You have backed it up with leadership and growth, and I'm proud to continue, my friend. All of you are my friends, but I just want to recognize the fact that he was here at the very beginning when 200 people were sitting in the room. Mr. Tim Sales, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great name for this business.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice what he said there? That was awesome. I don't know if you recognized it, but, you were here with 4
people last
4 people, right? And he started, and now look at what he's done, right? In other words, there is a particular procedure that we all know up here, and if you'll just do it, you'll be able to do the exact same thing. So just real brief, I started back in 1989, and it was kind of funny. We were talking backstage, and I said, I got in 1989 right out of the military, and he goes, I was born that year. I'm like, so it's so fun. And I worked part-time while I was in the military. I was in special operations, defusing underwater bombs. And I worked part-time for 2 years. I got to 65,000 a month, and then I got to by my 5th year, I got to 150,000 a month, and then I retired. I was done. I had never dreamed of making that kind of money in my life, and I continued to get a residual check for 18 years. Nobody knew my phone number. I mean, when I want to go black, I can go completely black, right? Nobody knows where I am. And then the company bought my business from me, and I had written a couple of tools, Brilliant Compensation, Professional Inviter, and some of these things, and I just created a company and let them do it, and they sent me a royalty. It was a little small royalty. And but you know what? I missed it. I missed this industry. I missed people saying to me, uneducatedly saying, oh, that's one of those pyramids? That's a Ponzi scheme? Oh, that's one of those things where the people at the top make all the money? They're wrong 100% of the time that they say it, and I knew it, right? And so I missed the challenge. And so I remember writing to you, when you told me that you were coming out of the industry, I go, you're going to miss it, brother. So I love this industry. I've been in it for 30 years now, and I love it. I'm number one, her husband. Number two, I'm a dad. And number three, I'm a network marketer.
So, Brian Carruthers, I've been in the industry now for 20. Oh, sorry.
Brian Carruthers, everybody.
Thank you. Public speaking number one. Don't talk over the clap. Thank you very much. I'm learning every day. So I came from a background in real estate, and I've got a kind of a different story. There's so many rags to riches stories in this room, and I love hearing them. Somebody who was down on their luck, struggling financially, and they found this business, and they picked themselves up from bootstraps. Now they're millionaires. I've got a little bit of a different story. I was born into a very wealthy family. My dad built one of the largest real estate companies on the East Coast back in the 70s before he sold to Merrill Lynch, and 35 offices, and then opened it up again, knowing when my brother and I were going to get out of college, we might join him, which we did. And so I jumped right into real estate at 21. By the time I was 25, I was making a 6-figure income, and so I was already doing well. And I think one of the challenges in network marketing is for somebody who, I hear people say, well, I don't think I can do well because I don't have any money. Well, guess what? I think that's why you need to do well. You probably don't have anything to run back to. The reason why some people get into this business, and if they're already successful, if their first 5 no's, they run right back to their successful career. So it's easy to get out like that. And so for me, it was a little bit harder to stay in because I could go back to the family business. But when I fell in love with network marketing for what it gives, not just us individually, but like I said yesterday, the more people you impact, the more money you make. It's a true alignment of interests, and I fell in love with that. And here I'm now with the same company. I actually met Eric Worre, who's been a mentor of mine, in person and from afar for a long, long time. And he was there when I made my first $1 million in this business. And now 20-something million dollars later, being able to come here and share with everybody else how to go out there and achieve these kinds of results, it's just a blessing, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Haley.
So my name is Haley Hobson. And I'm sitting on a panel with 6 hot men. So I was a lawyer in my formal life, and I quit the practice of law after about 5 years, and I was also not a rags to riches story. I was making $100,000 a year back then in my 20s, but I didn't like what I was doing, and I didn't want to work for anybody else. So I actually retired from the profession of law at the age of 30, and I decided to start my own business. I became a Pilates and a yoga teacher, and I never really doubted that I could make money doing what I loved. And I did that for 15 years, and I was really successful. I was one of those yoga teachers actually making a living. However, I wanted more flexibility, and I had just had a baby, and I wanted to spend more time with her, and I realized that I wanted to be one of those moms that could go to the bus stop and pick her up at 3 o'clock, which is kind of funny because I don't do that now. My husband does because I'm too busy working in my network marketing business, but at least I'm doing it 2 blocks away in my own home. But anyway, I turned to network marketing sort of by accident because I wanted to try a product. And I came here 1 year after I started my business. I was doing relatively well. And then I signed up to come to a mastermind with Eric, and life has never been the same. I took everything that he and Marina were talking about in that mastermind, and all of the resources, all of the tools, it made sense. It seemed like a profession, a legitimate profession. I was completely turned on, and I made it happen, and I am trying to implement all of those tools continually in my business and be one of those leaders who does what is the term? Do what I do, not what I say. I want to be one of those people who telling you to do what I do, I'm still doing it. And my team is exploding. We did about 7.5 million last month in the month of November. My business is only 6 years old, 7.5 million in volume. I didn't make $7.5 million last month, but I maybe will in 7 years, making that monthly, crossing my fingers, right? So I'm really grateful to be here today and share with you all of the tools and resources that I'm using in my own business, and hope that you enjoy it.
Fantastic. Well done. Now, there's a lot I want to cover, so I'm going to try and go fast. And those of you who are paying attention here, take notes fast, because I want to talk about 3 different categories. Tools themselves. What are the tools that you're using, physical, digital, in order to be able to create a result, in order to be able to get somebody's interest, to be able to convert somebody to a customer or to a distributor? What tools are you using that people could learn from? That's one category. What systems are you using? What are the systems within your organization that might include some of those tools in order to be able to produce the results that you want? And what are some of the campaigns that you have used currently or in the past that have worked? And campaigns being more short-term burst-oriented things, campaigns around Black Friday, campaigns around the holiday season, campaigns around the summer months, campaigns, recruiting campaigns, whatever different kinds of campaigns that you've utilized in order to be able to succeed. So I want to talk about all 3. So the first one I want to talk about is tools. Specifically, what have you been using and teaching in order to be able to create the results that you're getting in your business? We'll start with you, Joe.
Okay, great. So I'm a big believer in very short videos, like sizzle videos. When I first got started,
What do you mean by short?
like no more than 90 seconds. And this way I get the luxury of texting someone saying, hey, Haley, got 90 seconds, right? And everyone seems to have 90 seconds. You could literally, at a red light, look at something for 90 seconds. When I first started in the business, it was, when can you be in front of your computer for 25 minutes? And try to set an appointment on a Tuesday night, and then, and then they cancel for whatever reason. And I think we live in such a short attention world right now that a 30-second video, a 90-second video, in fact, the ones they draw on, on the, you see them on Facebook. I mean, any of those, I think, are very powerful. But the key is when you have it in a speed text, got 30 seconds, hey, less than a minute, let them know immediately how long the video you're sending them is. Because sometimes you get a video, it's like, 40 minutes, 12 minutes, 9 minutes, and I just don't have time right now, I'm in a rush. But for 30 seconds, pique my interest, I'm in the middle of something, I know to get back to Antonio tomorrow, I was interested. So that's what I think my best tool is, a very short video.
Now, does the company produce that video? Did you need to assist in producing it? Do you have to make sure it's approved by compliance?
Yeah.
Those types of things?
Well, this go around, it was a startup, so I couldn't wait. I had to do my own video, get it approved. Just say,
So you did it, and you asked the company to review it.
Here's the script.
Did they give you some feedback?
Yeah, I said, here's the script. And I basically used the language from the website. I'm just trying to act like a compliance officer, so they didn't change it. And they're inexpensive, a couple $100. You could even personalize it. It could be about you. Your name is in there, a little cartoon that looks like you. And it's inexpensive, and again, nothing more than 90 seconds.
Did you use any websites or services that are commonly known, or did you hire somebody?
It's funny. I literally got an ad on Facebook, one of those white drawing the cartoon.
Yeah.
Nothing special. There's a lot of them.
Do you remember the site name?
I do not. But I was getting bombarded like every day.
But if you Google create an ad with somebody writing on it,
yes,
you'll find a service like that, and for a few $100, If you provide them with a script, they can draw out a story
Yep.
that will pique somebody's interest.
And it could be campaign specific because it's so inexpensive, because it's only a couple $100. You can do like this spring, this fall, a new product, you know, whatever. And you could customize it and then just keep them in your database.
Love that.
And then let your team use them too.
Love that. How about you? Any tools?
Well, actually, like from my sponsor, that is amazing, and all the team. I think we have a very powerful YouTube channel with a lot of testimonies from our product and from the lifestyle that our product is producing us. And we just talk straight to people and just copy and paste what you just
The
teach
YouTube
us.
link?
Yeah, no, not the YouTube link, but we say like all the team know that we have a YouTube channel, so they can say, oh, you can see this YouTube channel, this young guy is doing.
So they send a
extraordinary
link to
things.
the YouTube channel.
Yes,
So
and
that's what
also,
they're doing. They're saying, come see the results of what we're doing. Check out this link when you.
also the company provide us with very good marketing videos. So we just say, hey, let me know when you have 20 minutes, and if I ask you if you see this video, I can show you. Like, we don't invent anything. Like, we just assist here. The whole team is a straight GoPro thing. So if you know that something is working, why you need to question it? So just do it. And the more you do it, the more you make it.
All right, cool. Ryan.
I like this crowd over here. They loud.
Latinos.
Pure passion. Tools.
Tools. I teach them how to use what's free. Facebook's free. We use group pages. I teach people how to get on the phone. Because if you're going to start us.
Well, wait, but before you skim over that, you teach people how to use group pages. How do you use group pages?
Well, I teach you how to go get in group pages that are things that you like. What are your hobbies? I'm into fast cars. I'm into clothing. We do know our industry.
So it's not about creating a group. It's about going and joining groups
Joining
that
group
exist.
pages, yes.
And the group itself becomes a tool for you
Correct.
to be able to find unlimited people.
Go in these group pages that are free, that people have already done the work and created for you, and you go in there and be a magnet. Go in there and start answering the questions because you're in group pages that you already know things about.
What are some of your passions that you specialize in?
Fast cars.
Fast cars. So
Scuba
how many
diving.
fast car groups are you in?
Probably about 3,000.
He's a member of 3,000 fast car groups.
I'm in about.
That's a tool for him. It's already created by somebody else. He's just tapping in and being a member of the community.
I just go in there and I'm Google. I answer all their questions. I even spark questions in there. And all you're doing is having conversations with these people, and all of a sudden they become your friend. They like you. They're like, man, this guy sure does know a lot about whatever group page you're in. You could be in a Disney World group, sewing, whatever it may be, and they think you know it all, so they want to be attracted to you. They're attracted. They're going to come join you. They're going to friend request you. Then they see what you're doing. But how do we get a good prospect? They trust you. You've already built a bond. You've already got that relationship already started for you. So we use a lot of group pages.
You tap into other people's group pages.
Yes.
So
I've
how
already done
many
work for you.
total, if you take all the group pages you're a member of, how many are you a member of?
All right. Well, hopefully
All the different interests.
Hopefully Facebook's not listening, but with the multiple profiles I have,
Multiple personalities.
roughly 20,000 group pages I'm in. Very short.
He's part of 20,000 group pages in exchange for 3.2 million.
Very quick. Somebody asked me, how do I stay organized with that many group pages? Very quick. I use Excel, and you can put a hyperlink, and all you got to do is click on it. I go in there and post. I go back to my Excel spreadsheet, and I mark what day I posted in there. So in a day or two, I can go back to that date and know what group page I was in. Very simple.
Just Facebook. Pretty cool stuff, huh? Anybody have their mind blown yet? It's like, what?
So what does he do with them? Does he put them in front of videos?
What do you do with them?
I'll teach you how to become friends with them. They've already grown your trust. Pique interest so they call you on the phone. Because I can tell you 100%, when you can talk to somebody either face-to-face or on the phone and not message them, you're going to hold on to them a whole lot longer. All of a sudden, your retention is a lot longer for these people. What do you do when you get somebody in your home? They hang out a little bit longer because they're comfortable with you. You're talking to them on the phone, they're starting to love you. They're not going anywhere. So they're going to easily join your team once you have a phone conversation.
You're going to friend them up,
with
build relationship, then you're going to get them on the phone, and then are you going to guide them ever to a tool or no?
Not right off the bat.
All right.
I'm going to maybe have a phone conversation with them once or twice before even doing anything with my business. That way I'm building our relationship, or building our trust. And then I ask them if they're interested in a business opportunity, or if they've seen me post something on Facebook that piques their interest, or I even may tag them in something because I'm already following them on Facebook. I know what they like or what they need also between our conversations or their social media. Do y'all realize you can go look at somebody's profile and know a lot about them? You can figure out a lot of their needs if they've struggled with something. We have solutions. They have the problems. All you got to do is look at their problem and give them a solution.
So let's say they're interested in the business. Then what do you show them?
We don't have videos.
You just still have more conversation than
we have a conversation, and I explain to them about our product. It's pretty simple.
Got it. All right, Tim, how about you?
I like customer acquisition is what I like. So in one sense, it's a customer acquisition video. Then I also like...
How long is yours?
I put them into something that is, it's a group where there are about 6 or 7 different videos having to do with weight loss. And so they can go through and they can watch that, then join a Facebook group, and then interact with people who are already getting results and things like that. So that would be customer acquisition. Second part would be business. And so I have a video there, and it's longer because it's kind of a PhD level network marketing kind of a video about how to choose a company. And so then that one, and then in the training side of the thing, I do the same thing. So he and I are very similar in terms of our very systematic approach, and I believe that there's a handful of activities that you do. And so that's really all my training side. So you have customer acquisition, opportunity, and then
Love it.
And then training.
Brian, I know you're very structured, very disciplined. You have more discipline in your little finger than I have in my whole body.
Well, I think I'll take you back in time a few years. So our team, when we got really focused on one tool, we had a 45-minute full presentation video. And when that came out on DVD, we raised our recruiting from 1,000.
Let me just tell you one thing. If it was DVD, it was more than a couple years ago, my friend.
It was several years ago.
It was
right. Yes, it was
approaching a decade ago. Just saying.
Okay, so in your notes you can put it was a decade ago. All right. So anyway, it was a while ago. We had a DVD, and it was a 45-minute full presentation. And when we got focused on one tool, because sometimes you can have too many tools to pick from, and a confused mind shuts down and does nothing. So we said we got to get everybody just doing one simple discipline and let that compound. And so we went from 1,000 recruits a month to 2,000 recruits a month. And then we actually got the DVD on auto ship. And so we got everybody in the team committing to just getting a box of 100 to come into their doorstep every single month. And so that gave them the impetus to go out there and get their 2 or 3 exposures a day, just get them out because the next box is going to come. And then our recruiting went from 2,000 to 4,000 recruits a month just for our team. But somehow some things happen where you just do something and it works so well you stop doing it. In network marketing, you see so many brilliant ideas come along and you want to implement this, you want to implement that. You come to an event like this, you hear all these great ideas from 6 people up here and you're like, I got to go do it all. And that's what happens to all of us. So we were doing that for a while, and then we say, oh, we got to start adding this. We want to add in a shorter video. We want to add it in a sizzle call. And guess what? Then, again, nothing goes up into the right forever. So then we started to dip a little bit. Recently, which is recent. So
After what you did 20 years ago.
We're no longer DVD, okay? We now went back into the studio and we refined the presentation down from 45 to 22 minutes. We no longer you have the DVD that people have to buy and send out or hand out. Now we have an app, which comes to the next question, which is systems. But we now have a mobile platform where we can send somebody the video link. And so I'm a big proponent, and I've done all the different things of short videos, long videos, and all that. I like if I got somebody's attention, while I have their attention, I want to get them through the full 22 minutes. Mm-hmm. So what I teach is do a good job on edification on the front end. If you edify a 22-minute video well enough, they'll spend 22 minutes with you. So if you edify really, really well, and you send them the link, and you have an appointment, hey, when are you going to watch that 22-minute video? Okay, at 9 o'clock, so at 9:30 we'll be talking. If you book the appointment before you even send them, if I send you the video, will you watch it? At 9:30, you're going to have that follow-up call. And that's what we're doing right now, and it's working.
Excellent. Haley.
Hey, I like your socks, by the way.
Thank you. Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss. So I do all of the above, and I have found that shorter videos work, shorter trainings work. I think it's all about testing. So what I mean by that is put things out there, and if they're not working and you're tracking the metrics on them, then you change it. So if a 22-minute video isn't working, try a 5-minute video and see if you have better results. If you send out an email to somebody and you don't get an open rate, try a new email title and see what works. But if you don't want to mind, I'd actually love to switch the topic of tools to organizational tools for a second.
Fine.
Because I think that a lot of people, let me know if you guys are with me, are just in overwhelm about how to stay organized and how to stay up with all the communication that is happening. Am I right? Yeah, that's what I thought. So I actually thought I was going to have like an anxiety attack when my business started growing, and there's so much, like actually thinking about 4,000 or 40,000 Facebook groups is literally like making me sweat up here on stage. I want to be that person eventually who doesn't have to be glued to my phone 24/7. I want things working automatically, and then when there's real like qualified good people that are ready to talk to you, hop on the call rather than chasing people down. And there's such good training that's going out there to the team that's interesting that they're going through it, and then when they're qualified enough, they can get on the phone with you. It's like they deserve the time with you as your leader. But what happens is with all of that communication that's going out there on Facebook Messenger, on texting, I use Voxer as an audio walkie-talkie with my sort of inner circle. I use Slack as a communicate, and I'll talk to you about these in a second. Email. It was getting out of control, and it was like my computer and my phone both beeping at the same time. I had to keep everything on silent. It's like beep, 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 beep. There's just messages coming in every second. So what I decided to do is implement a couple of organizational task and communication management tools into my business. Can I share them? Mm-hmm. Okay. So one of the things that I use to organize like what I'm gonna do on a daily basis, what I have to do, is I use a task management system called Asana. Now there are lots of different task management systems out there, but I like this one. It's got an app. It's simple.
Spell
I can
it.
use it. ASANA. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And what happens is if I want to assign myself something to do, and I do, sometimes I'll like literally assign myself pick up Madeline at the bus stop because Wes is out of town. And I will get an email that goes into my box, but I'll also get a highlighted notification in the app. And then I'm one of those people, women, are you like me, where you like to just check off what you did? Sometimes I like put tasks in there just so I can check them off, right? So I use that, and now that some of you might be hiring assistants to help you, or you might have cross lines that you're working with, or down lines that you're working with, you can actually have people on your Asana team, and you can assign things to each other. So sometimes I'll create something in my business. Maybe I want to create an ebook as a tool to get out there on social media, to have people download, as a lead magnet to get information, contact information to get leads into my business. And I need somebody to design it, and I need somebody to maybe write it or edit it, and I need me to proofread it. And so each person can get assigned a task, and it just sort of drips to each one of us as that task is completed. So when you're working with other people, sometimes the ball gets dropped when you are relying on somebody else and they aren't doing their job on time, or they don't have a deadline, or they have a deadline and they're just not complying with it. So I love that tool. And like I said, even if it's like, hey, remember to pick your clothes up at the dry cleaner, because nobody's going to do that for me in my house except me, I will assign myself a task and I can access it on my phone. The other thing that I love is a tool called Slack. Anybody use that? Slack is a communication management tool. And I was having like a nervous breakdown over emails, because you'll start emails and you can't find them and they're threaded crazy, and all of a sudden there's 8 people on the thread, and then you delete one and accidentally like 8 of them get deleted, and then you can't find anything, and nobody takes responsibility for replying because they assume that somebody else is going to reply. So I have a Slack workspace. By the way, these 2 tools are free, okay? And in my Slack workspace, I have a channel just for myself and like the admin support. I have a channel for my inner circle, like top line leaders that qualify me. I've got another Slack channel for another inner circle that I'm working with on my team. I've got a Slack channel for my house. I've got my husband in it, my nanny in it, my daughter who's 9 is in it. So if she's got swimming lessons, she gets it on her little iPod, and we've got all the activities in there. I've got one for Crossline that I work with in my company, certain projects with corporate. So I can drop into Slack and I can just look at the specific workspaces and toggle back and forth. And if I put a message or communication out there, if it's threaded properly, you never lose any communication. So I used to wake up in the morning with 500 emails in my box, and now I wake up with like 3. So that has been huge for me. I love that. And then other tools that I use on a daily basis, those of you might know, have heard of Dropbox, where we're saving and storing information and filing it correctly. Trying to think of, I have a resources page on my website, and I'm just trying to think of like what's on there that I can help you guys with. Maybe I'll come back to that. But those are really calendaring. Calendaring. Women also, or men out there, calendaring everything. A lot of time our productivity stinks because we're not putting it on our calendar. So if even my assistant says to me, hey, Haley, I need you to proof this today, she will not only assign it to me in Asana, but if it ain't on my calendar, it ain't happening. So she'll literally calendar me 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, whatever it is, to go ahead and work on that project. And if it's not on my calendar, I won't know to do it. So whether you're following up with people, whether you are writing an email, whether you are working on a campaign around a holiday like you talked about, Black Friday, sometimes I have to calendar pick up Madeline at the bus stop, right? Sometimes I have to calendar leave my house to get to the airport on time. But if everything is on my calendar, then I can have a really massively productive day.
That freaks me out, everything you just said. It's so, you're so awesome. I listen.
I'm starting.
Are you available for hire?
So Eric, a lot of people
to organize
ask
this
me,
stuff? I'm like, because listen, guess what I have? I've got a journal that I write
You have
stuff.
Marina.
No. That I write stuff in. I have pieces of sticky paper up on my windows that I look at.
And Marina, you're around the corner, like doing all this.
I have all
for
these
him,
little
right?
red dots
Hands off
on
to
my
her,
phone.
please.
I do. I have red dots on my phone, and I surround myself with really awesome people. That's my organizational tool. Her. I surround myself with her. That's why I'm smiling. Is she has
But
no
you know
red
what,
dots.
Eric? Organization is productivity.
Yeah, no, I
right?
get it.
And people always say to me, like, Haley, how did you do it so fast? I was making what is considered a 7-figure income in 14 months in my business.
Yeah.
And people say, how did you do it so fast? And I didn't do it fast, you guys. I just did more than you're doing in the first 14 months because I stayed organized.
Yep. No, you're amazing. You're amazing. Don't take it the wrong way. It's just my DNA. It's just like got the shakes. So we got to switch to systems, okay? So we spent a lot of time on tools and the beginnings of organizational systems, which is amazing. I I want you guys to talk about systems that you're using in whatever direction you'd like, systems, campaigns, or anything else, because we got about 18 minutes left, that are helping you grow your business, that would help them.
The three-way call. You know, the old-fashioned three-way call from the 80s, 70s. So I'm as a historian, there's nothing better than getting someone else on the call after their interest is piqued. Not everyone is full-time in this business. I guess maybe we all are.
So you have them watch a video and then you get them on a three-way call?
With somebody else. And I do this to this day. You know, my business partner, Frank, or my upline, I know all the answers.
Yeah.
Right? There's nothing I don't know about my business, but I don't want to come across as Mr. Smarty Pants because I'm talking to somebody who's busy. Remember, when you're talking to a new prospect, they're intrigued, they like what they hear, they like what they see, but they're thinking, what's the one thing in the back of their mind? I don't know if I have enough time for this. Right? It sounds great, but can I squeeze it in? I just volunteered to coach girls basketball. I have, you know, the holidays. I don't. And one thing you never want to say, but you could do this business in your spare time, because what are they going to say?
Yeah.
I don't have any spare time. But obviously, if they see what you see, they're going to do it. So I like to keep it with the three-way call and say, look, I'm going to get Eric on the phone. You know, I'm sure you have some great questions. Now, it's not a perfect world to do a real live three-way call every single time. All right, but you always want to leave that door open and say, you know what, that's a great question. By the end of the day or tomorrow, I'm going to get my up team on the phone with you. Or maybe we do a live Zoom, even better, so now I can get to see your face. Because remember, you know, they're busy. And in the real world, if you sell insurance or you sell real estate, right? I mean, we're just, you know, the dance is, well, I'm the best real estate guy for the job. I'm the best financial planner for the job. I'm the best painter for the job. And you feel, you know, like you have to brag or explain how qualified you are. In this business, because 90% of the people are part-time, you don't want to intimidate somebody to think they have to learn all this stuff. Like, wow, Joe's really into this. You know, I asked him 11 questions. He gave me 11 answers, right? It's bad. And I go, I can't do that. Or that'll take me months to get that good. And I just can't see myself doing that. That's why the three-way call. And to add to that, too, is when I'm doing a three-way call, first of all, when you get somebody new in the business or, you know, tap rooting, if your phone is getting buzzed, are you available at 3? Are you available at 6? Are you available? I know the guy's working, right? The more he texts me, the more I am going to be working for that guy. But sometimes you get someone on the phone, and the guy's a little bit of a jerk, right? And so now I'm answering the questions politely and professionally. This is not going anywhere. The guy who's new or the gal that's new that put me on the phone might be a little embarrassed, like I'm wasting this guy's time. He's asking some silly, jerky questions. But now I'm auditioning for that new rep. He or she is becoming a bigger believer. Like, wow, Joe did a great job. He handled himself professionally. He didn't get, you know, confrontational. He was being a jerk. Joe backed off. I get more confident. And they'll call me back and say, listen, I apologize for putting that guy on the phone. I say, it's okay. Now I know what this is all about. I will bring you better people. I'll bring you my boss. I'll bring you
It's such a great
people.
distinction that you build confidence in the other person. Even though you don't get a great result, you get a result because you're performing for them too.
Now, they signed up. They get it. They're in for a week. They're still doubting.
Yeah.
You do some three-way calls with a new person. They're building conviction. So I know sometimes I'm auditioning or cementing that person's belief, even if this prospect is a dud.
And one thing I will also tell you, and I hope you're getting notes with all this stuff. Don't just listen. I know you got the fire hose is in your face over the course of these 3 days, but make sure you're taking the note with the video. You're taking the note with the three-way call. I would also make one comment that a phenomenon that I'm seeing recently that's working extremely well is three-way Facebook message conversations, even if they're audio or video. But the three-way conversations on Facebook Messenger where the upline might not be available for the call, but they can respond to a many, and stay in conversation with the people and still be performing for their group is excellent too.
Yeah, and the last thing, I use Zoom a lot. I mean, there's GoToMeeting and all that. I mean, again, people, what is the only thing keeping people from network marketing is they don't think they have enough time. Is this one of those things where every Tuesday night I got to go to a hotel, right? No. If you get Zoom on your phone, I mean, think about face-to-face stuff all over the country all the time. If you're not using Zoom or something like it, you're going to slow down. And again, puts them at ease that, well, I don't have to, you know, put on my makeup. I could go home, take a shower, get in my sweats, and, you know, as long as from here up I'm presentable, I could do a Zoom.
Yeah.
And so that's a big, big tool these days.
Antonio, any systems you have?
No, the system that really bring me here was Zoom.
Was what?
Zoom meeting. Zoom meeting.
Zoom? Yep.
But I have to say that the commitment leaders that we have in our team, because we have created a system every single day of the week, every single holiday days, every single day, 365 days a year, our team have 2 conference calls,
Zoom calls?
Zoom calls. Like we are doing 10 presentations. We are doing 10 presentations a week and 4 trainings a week. So you only need to talk straight to your team, organize, and say, I'm on Monday, you are on Tuesday, you are on Wednesday, Thursday, but you give the message to your team every single day. Because we have a lot of problems outside, we have a lot of situations outside, but if your team knows that at 2 o'clock and at 9 o'clock, it's going to have someone reference for him sending the message to their team, to their people, to their guests, they are going to be excited to be there. Like right now we have the 1,000 Zoom call. We are, every single conference, we are between 500 to 800 people daily, 2 times a day. And when we started, when we were 20, we were like, damn, we hit 20. And now it's crazy. So it's all about fire and about sending the same message every single day and non-stop. Okay? Whoop, whoop.
Ryan, how long is the training?
Okay, the presentations takes between 20 to 40 minutes. And the trainings sometimes is 50 minutes. And if we have one day that we do questions from the audience. So there is a top leader or a rank advanced person that got the position to be there. And they just send regular questions. And then we send, so that one probably goes to 1 hour.
Okay.
But
Excellent.
every single day, friends. I like Friends from John Maxwell.
All right. The few things we do, again, old school networking. We do 3-way phone calls. We don't expect you to come in knowing everything, you know. So get with your upline, do a 3-way phone call. Other things we do is we'll have a Facebook party. We'll tell you to invite all your friends into a group page, and I'll get on a live with you and edify you on how you're just starting off, you need some help, you need some support. And also, we'll do a product support page as well. And what that does is gets all your potentials, your customers, into a group page, and we make it fun, and we reward them with either gifts or prizes or just a meme, whatever, or a shout out. And people will eat it up for any kind of recognition like that. And you get in there, and next thing you know, the customers are actually doing the work for you. You get interactive posts in those group pages, and every time they comment, it's going back to the top of the group page. And maybe at the end of the day, I'll go in there and make a few more comments, and I'll check on what's going on. But usually your customers will keep everything going for you. Again, I use things that are free for us. That's pretty much what we'll do.
Love it.
I know we're short on
Tim,
time.
what's your systems?
Eric, I do Zooms. Zooms have replaced 3-way calls for me. They've replaced a lot of the meetings that I used to do, one-on-ones, where we'd go and sit in a cafe and wait for somebody to show up. So Zooms is number one, but I need to preface that just a little bit. At the lowest common denominator, the simplest thing to do is get a flagship video from your company or somebody in your team that's made something and just do what he's doing. In other words, get it out. Repetition. That's the lowest common denominator, and you can just hammer those out. at the highest common denominator is where you want to develop the skills of real communication, where it's not about pushing content, it's about finding out who that person is, what's bugging them, what's keeping them up at night, and how you can help them. I believe that is the highest level, and if anybody in here wants to retire for 18 years after only doing work for 5 years, this is the secret, and that is that when you get out of focusing here and you get out and talking to people, you'll hear their hearts bleeding. Like you'll understand what it is that they need. And then at that point, you can't say the wrong thing because you really care about that person. And when you can develop 10 people, 25 people on your team that have done that are at that mastery, then you don't work again. You don't need to work again unless you want to build another line. So I do Zooms.
A lot of them. Great. Brian.
So I think one of the most important parts of this conversation for me is that a confused mind shuts down and does nothing again. So a lot of great content being shared up here. I always go back to what is our company system? And everybody hopefully has a system in your company. So, and I wrote about my companies in my book, 7-step system. Get excited, make a list, PBR, PCC, which are the home meeting and a private conference call meeting to launch your business. Those are 4. And then the weekly meeting, Super Saturday training, and the national convention. That's our 7-step system I've been doing for 20 years. That's how I have it laid out on the page in the book. And then off to the side, I have the tools that you're going to use for interest-peaking lead generation, getting people interested, and then plugging them into that system. And these things can change. It used to be a VHS, and then it became a DVD, and then became a video link now. PCCs, actually, now we do Zooms instead of just conference calls now. But some of these things can change. I mean, look, Facebook, Zuckerberg could get on the chopping block tomorrow, and what everybody's talking about in social media today might be changed tomorrow. But if we have a system that we're always running on, whatever the new technology is, you always come back to having the system that will never falter, right? So I think that's the most important thing, is having that system. So this year, 18 months ago, our company brought in a mobile platform as far as an actual system, quote unquote, where we use it as a CRM, so we can put our contacts into it, put them into an email campaign. I still use email. I know I'm totally old school. I've got email lists, and I make a lot of my living off of email still. But I put them in an email campaign. I text them out. First, before I even put them out, I text them out the video link after I've properly edified it and piqued their interest and had the conversation and find out what their needs are. Send that out to them, and it gives me a mobile notification letting me know, hey, this person just watched your video. If you're sending out tools but you don't have a way to track it, how do you follow up? How do you know what they've seen? How do you know if they're lying, if they even said they saw it? So having an old school system that's always going to be your constant track, and then the technologies and the systems that will allow you to put people into that, I think that's the main thing to take away is just, and by the way, I've got some great ideas coming in here. I got to go back to my seat and figure out, okay, can I implement some of these things into my existing system without it derailing our system?
Let me give you some advice on that. I think that's all excellent. Thank you. The advice that I have is with new tools and systems, and we live in a world where a new thing will show up often. Here's the advice. Don't practice with your existing team. Don't try to change the whole engine of the airplane in mid-flight and risk the growth and momentum and stability that you have. Start a new team and use the new team to have that new whatever that system is. And if that works and starts getting some duplication, then bring in your top leaders. Don't surprise anybody on your team by throwing something down their throats. Bring in the top leaders, explain what's going on, show them the data, show them the information, see if you get buy-in from the top leaders. And if you get buy-in from those top leaders, then you can together roll it out inside of the group and edify the new system or the new piece of the system. Even if it's just like we're going to do Zoom instead of conference call, don't just assume. Make sure that it's working, make sure your leaders are buying in, and then make sure you roll it out and pound it into the culture. Because we're living in a world that's changing pretty dramatically. You need to test, but don't test with everybody. Because then you become unsafe. to the group. They just like, tell me when you finally figured this out, because I can't do the idea of the week program every single week. I'm exhausted trying to follow you, what you're doing. What is our system? Most people just want clarity. And as a leader, you need to test stuff over here and then get agreement with your leaders before you can provide clarity to the entire organization. And then even inoculate the team, the whole organization, that we are a team that adapts quickly. And if there's something that we need to tweak, we're better than anybody else at tweaking those little things and moving forward. That inoculation is also very important. Haley, you get to wrap it up.
You might also have to adapt to the culture within your team, and you might have multiple cultures in your team, because the way that network marketing is exploding these days is we do have some old schools people in the business, obviously, but we also have the newer generations, the millennials, who won't pick up the phone. And they will not do a three-way call, and sometimes they won't even get on Zoom. So you've got to figure out what is going to work within your team. And what I do is I have, honestly, multiple systems going on as backups so that we get people getting the information that they need. And I have multiple systems going on within my own recruiting so that I can make sure I'm in front of people. So like with recruiting, I use a lot of social media, and I encourage people to be on social media and attract. Social media is attraction marketing, right? But you do want to get them off of the social media, and email is not dead. It's actually the still most widely used successful form of digital marketing, just so you know. So I use very sophisticated email marketing tools, and I can tell when people open up my emails. I was doing a lead call out in the hallway before this panel, and the woman I got on the phone with told me she couldn't find the email that I sent her when she booked the call with me. I got my assistant on the phone. She did get the email. We told her how to find it. We sent her back to read it. There's a little video in it, and we rebooked the call for after the meeting tonight. So I want to make sure that I'm spending my time most efficiently, but I also want to make sure that I'm getting into people's boxes, whether it's bot messenger, whether it's email marketing, whether it's Zoom, whatever it is, the way that they also want to be heard. So you have to be accommodating with other people, and you have to be adaptable, and you may have to be on multiple platforms. So with training the team, I've tried all different things, and some people don't want to look at emails, and some people don't want to go through, drip campaigns of training. But then some people forget their password and can't get into a membership site that you create for them after day one, and some people will never watch a video. So you guys are laughing, it's totally true. It all comes down to just being adaptable. So one of the things that I'm doing now, which is newer, I'm gonna test it, is I'm getting away from the big, massive welcome packet that people get when they join that has a couple of drip campaigns in it, but I'm actually gonna do a drip feed for about 33 days with people. Every couple of days, little short emails, tell them right up front to save them, and tell them how to create a file in their email folder so that they can come back to it. And I'm going to save everything on a PDF and stick it in a membership site. So those people who wanna log in later and look at it that way can. And then we use Zoom trainings for as people progress in their business. So when they're getting, I'm assuming everybody wants to teach people how to live their product, right? And become, and have a lifestyle with their product for retention. So we teach people, we have trainings on living the product. And then we have trainings on how to share it casually as a hobby and get it paid back for. And then we have trainings on how to supplement your income. And then we have trainings on how to replace your income. And then as people are progressing to different ranks, we're doing little mini boot camps. And I don't automate all of it because some people like the live interaction. So we do literally do live events and do live online Zoom stuff every couple of months, but there's always something going on that somebody can tap into, whether it's I jump into my team groups on Facebook Lives every couple of days, or tag people on Instagram, or get them into these camps. Just be adaptable, you guys. Test out what your people want. Notice the generations that you're dealing with. See where they want to be, and try it all, and see what makes you happy, and see what works for you.
Antonio, last word.
Yes, we ran out of time, but I want to ask you for a favor. Please pay attention to the closing of this event. Like, what we have was excellent, but it's all about the closing, because now you need to trust, now you need to believe, but then after the event, you need to start working massively for next year GoPro. So now, please pay a lot of attention to the closing event because your closing last year, Eric, was insane.
That's the plan. How many people got some value from these folks? Give them a round of applause.